They say that true love is something that would never die. We must have all heard about people saying that love is the most precious thing anyone could ever find in this world. Well, these statements may just be words to some people. To some, it's a reality. We must have all experienced or met someone who fell in love for a few weeks or months. Some people's love lasts even after death. Brought to tears. If you've ever come across any story about powerful love, you'd get the sense that it must be something like magic. And what could be the most amazing thing about love that makes people go crazy? Well, it must be the fact that it's not a fairy tale, that it's real for them. This guy's wife passed away 60 years ago, but later revealed what she left for him that reduced him to tears. Too heartbreaking. In a world where there are so many who look for fun and thrill, romance and finding true love has become something truly rare. Some people do not even care to look for it, and hence would not even get the chance to experience it. So you can already imagine how tragic it must be to lose your partner. There will never be enough time spent between two people who are truly in love. Who are they? So who's this couple that's experiencing something that most of us only get to see in movie screens? Well, their names are Jimmy and Billie Brayland. The two of them were able to find love that was so pure and true at a very young age. And ever since meeting when they were young, the two felt an instant connection that even they were not aware would last for years to come. Their profession? What were these lovers doing as a profession, you ask? Well, you see, Billie was a school teacher where Jimmy was a Baptist student minister who worked at the university of their hometown. This was the time they first met. Both of them did not even realize at that point that their love would withstand time and struggle. They did, however, fall fast and hard for one another. Meeting place. As the two were in their own space, they did not plan on falling for each other. In fact, it was love at first sight for Billie and Jimmy. On the day that they met, the two of them felt an instant spark that proved that this was love. So where exactly did these two meet? Well, Billie and Jimmy actually found each other at a church they both attended. Getting hitched. So as soon as the first meeting took place, Billie and Jimmy knew early on that they wanted to be romantically involved. The two then began to date for a little while until they made a mutual decision to tie the knot. They knew that they both had met the person they were supposed to be with forever, in one another. Time went, but their love got stronger each day. 6 decades of love. From the moment that Billie and Jimmy met in church, they were certain that they'd met their soulmates. From the moment they laid eyes on each other, they knew it was real. And after they went on dates, the two were even clearer regarding the fact that they belonged together. So, all in all, the couple was in love for a whopping 60 long years. Expanding their family. So after marrying each other, they soon decided that it was time to expand their family. And so together, Billie and Jimmy became parents to 3 kids. And so after having their own children, they grew up and became parents too. So this couple became proud grandparents to 7 grandkids in total. Their life and marriage had become what many wish to have. Something wrong. After being together for so long and having a family that loved each other so much, an unfortunate incident took place. During the holidays in the year 2015, Billie's health started to deteriorate. She'd become old and her body was not functioning as it was supposed to. Even with the help of the doctors who gave her the best possible treatment, things were still going downhill. Passing away. So after showing several signs of complications health-wise, Jimmy's beloved wife, Billie, passed away. When she died, she was 83 years old. And this was indeed a big blow for Jimmy because he literally spent most of his days with her, his one true love. And leaving him behind was certainly devastating for the old man who now had to face the world alone. Irreplaceable. After the tragic death of Billie, her dear husband now had spent his daily life alone. Without his partner by his side, Jimmy was inconsolable. He felt like a part of him had been torn away from his body. It was a dark time for him. He was feeling extremely lonely too. Even though the other family members were there with him, no one could replace Billie's spot. A new discovery. And since Billie was no longer with him, Jimmy grew increasingly lonelier each day that passed. He'd lost his best friend, the mother of his kids, and the grandmother of his grandkids. It was something he needed time to come to terms with. But soon, after just 2 days, something took place that was going to change how Jimmy perceived his wife forever. Daily errands. Just put yourself in his shoes. If you'd spent about 60 years together with someone, you'd definitely feel like one, right? Billie and Jimmy spent all this time, been through all the ups and downs, so for her to be taken away was harsh news for Jimmy. So when Jimmy had gone to do his everyday errands, he took out his wallet to clarify that he had all that he needed. A piece of paper. So when he held his wallet to check what was inside, Jimmy did not expect to find anything strange. But when he checked the insides, he found a piece of paper that was not supposed to be there. It got him a little confused to have found this small chit of paper. This was actually a note sent to him by someone. So whoever could have left it there? A letter for Jimmy. So when Jimmy realized after checking his wallet that there was a piece of paper, he was surprised and curious. He couldn't recall himself placing any notes inside his wallet, so he got a little confused. And when he checked what it was, he saw that this letter was for him. He had to take a few minutes to breathe and relax before opening the letter. From his late wife. So who wrote the note for him? It turns out Jimmy's wife had actually left the note for him in his wallet. And since his late wife was an excellent note writer, when she was still around, as soon as he saw the note from her, it made him tear up. He could sense her presence there with him, and he felt like she was right there with him. This is what the note said. The letter. So what did the wife have to say to her dear husband, whom she had to leave behind? Well, when Jimmy read the note kept in his wallet by his dear wife, he was touched. Billie had so much to say to him, but it was kept short and sweet. Please don't cry because I died. Smile because I lived. Know that I'm in a happy place. Know that you'll meet me again. I'll see you there. Words to smile about. So Billie had left a message for her soulmate in his wallet that showed how much she appreciated him, encouraging him to see the good in the misfortune that he had to deal with. It was, in a way, her effort to console him because she knew he'd miss her an unbearable lot. It would have made anyone smile to read such calming words, right? What he needed. So we know that Billie's gone and there's no chance for her ever coming back. However, the note was still helpful for Jimmy in a lot of ways. Though he knows he'll miss her forever, the note was able to give Jimmy the strength and reassurance that he needed to be able to go on with life without her. Jimmy knew he still had to stay positive because that's what she would have wanted. Consoling him still. We can clearly see the power of the love that Billie and Jimmy shared. In most cases, we always see that the one living usually consoles the sick or the one dying. But in this case, Billie was actually consoling Jimmy, even after death. This is a story that should be able to give anyone who's looking for true love that it exists, that there's hope. There's one other couple's story where death did not stop the love from flowing. After graduation. So who's the other couple whose love continued to be shared even after death? Well, Becca and Mason were a couple that met very young and fell in love. Right after they met, this couple knew they were meant for each other and decided to marry. The two lovebirds were in the same school but only met each other after they graduated. A real connection. So after dating for a while, Becca and Mason knew that this was not just a fun thing, that their relationship was the real deal. So obviously the next step for the couple was to get married. They soon got engaged and in a few weeks tied the knot. Since their connection was real and true, Becca and Mason were living a wonderful life, happy and content. A perfect duo. The couple was coordinating the perfect married life. They'd always been understanding and loving towards one another. So Becca and Mason's marriage did not have many issues. Mason was running a successful business, working from their home, while Becca was an excellent mother. She was looking after their son, Mason Jr. 32 years of love. Becca and Mason had never wanted to live lavishly. The couple was actually leading a rather simple life. But the most important thing was they were content. They were living a blissful life together as a family. After meeting each other, the two had known that they were meant to be for each other. And they were right. They lived a happily married life for 32 years. Twist of fate. In life, we know that nothing lasts forever. Even the most beautiful things and precious moments need to end. Hence, even Becca and Mason's happy life took a turn for the worst when something tragic happened. When they thought nothing could go wrong, Mason Sr. fell terribly ill. He was severely sick, and soon the doctors found out he had heart disease. Failing health. And so, after finding out that he was living with heart disease, Mason knew he did not want to make others around him suffer. He especially did not want Becca to hurt because of his sickness. His health was deteriorating rapidly, but Mason wished to stay as normal as he possibly could. He wanted to remain this way for his family's sake. To remain unaffected. Even after learning about the severity of his job, Mason wanted to keep working and not stop his daily routine. As Mason was continuing to go to his work as a carpenter, he wanted to stay unaffected by his disease. But as we all know, for how serious heart diseases are, Mason would have to accept the fact that his ways would not work for long. Passing away. Even after he refused to give up working, Mason's heart disease ended up being too much to ignore. After he received the best possible treatment he could receive, Mason unfortunately passed away. His tragic death happened when he was the age of 51. His heart disease took over his body until it was too much for him. He left his wife and son behind, leaving them shocked. As we said, Mason wanted his disease to not affect him too badly. He made sure to stay as positive as he could, but the illness spread quicker than anyone expected. It progressed so fast that he died from it in a matter of days. So when he passed away, he left the whole family in utter shock. Everyone had a little glimmer of hope that things would turn out fine. Cooking up a plan. So after being diagnosed with heart disease and trying hard to fight back, Mason could not escape his death. So since Mason was always keen on making the other people around him happy, he was clear that he wanted to give them something to smile about in the midst of all this. He was certain that there would be some kind of gesture he could leave his family with. To make it okay. And of course, out of all the people he'd have to leave behind, he was most concerned about his love, Becca. He wanted to make sure that the woman he loved and shared all his fond memories with was not left in a sad space. That was when Mason started to think of plans to make sure he had made things better. So what could the sick man possibly have done? Taking time. So even though Mason made sure to leave something for Becca, he would keep it quite safe and secure. It actually took her some time to find the gift Mason kept for her. She had to spend 2 years to try and find what Mason wanted her to have. It actually took Becca a very long while until she finally got the courage to go inside Mason's workshop in the garage. An undone table. But when Becca took some time to enter the garage, she realized that there was something spectacular kept inside. In the presence of so much sawdust, hidden in between the tools that were also with the dust, was kept an unfinished table. Becca flipped the table over, and then what she spotted was something that took her attention immediately. There was a message. The message. The message on the table was, "I love you, Becca. Whatever day this is, I hope it's a good one. God truly answered my prayers the day he gave me you. I know these days are the best I'll ever have, and I'm glad you're in them. I'm not sure if you'll ever see this, but if you do, just know that I love you very much. If there's one thing I want in life, it's to be as good to you as you are to me. If I can do that, I'll be the happiest man alive. I love you, beautiful wife, Mason." Powerful notes. And from these two incredible love stories, what have we witnessed? Well, one thing for sure is that even though Mason and Billie passed away and left their partners behind, they did not let their death rule over their loves. They somehow found a way to show love when their partners needed it the most. The notes that they left were indeed simple but powerful. Love not lost. Love stories such as these can be an inspiration to a lot of people. We know that everyone is looking for love, that it's something we all wish to find. Both these love stories are prime examples of love that can heal even when one is going through a tough time in their life. The thoughtful gesture that the deceased partners have left indeed put a smile on the face of their loved one. Check out these other videos from Let Me Know. If you haven't made the move to subscribe to our channel, all you need to do is click on that red subscribe button. Thank you for watching.